University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews, and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year. Every weekday, as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
And we welcome everyone to a Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning. I'm Kevin Winter in for Shane Matthews this morning. The lefty got the call to the bullpen late last night from Shane. Bring in the lefty from the Northeast so we can strike a few batters out. John Cornell is here.
That's it.
It is our first foray together.
That's right.
And I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Want to thank and acknowledge Steven Orsberrier here on PodUp with Matthews in the morning on a Friday. We are coming to you live from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, and right here in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Country. You also can, of course, send your comments, questions, concerns, anything you want for John and I. Facebook Live questions brought to you by Meldon Law. YouTube questions brought to you by Quality Plumbing. John, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I feel like there's just a potpourri of topics.
Yeah, we've got a lot. No question about it. And by the way, a man after my own heart with his press credentials on the wall behind his head. Thank God, an old radio guy with me this morning. It's going to be a wonderful thing. Are those green passes over your left shoulder? Are those from?
That's the Celtics right there.
Celtics.
And then we go. I gotta
Look
go
at
this way. Is right over here is the NBA Finals.
Oh, beautiful!
9 NBA Finals.
Wow.
If we go over here, that's the Super Bowl.
Look at this.
If we go here, that's the ALCS in the World Series in 2004.
Wow.
And then I'm not going to take you on a full tour.
That's right.
But that's all college football on that side.
That's fantastic. That is beautiful. What a great looking room you have there, Kevin. Welcome aboard, man. It's great to have you. And I think, this weekend is a big weekend for us. We've got the Masters, obviously. We've got Gator baseball up in Athens, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs, the hottest team in the SEC. Some games started last night, but most of them start tonight. So we've got a 3-game series for Florida coming off that big win against Florida State on, I guess it was Tuesday. Yes. And then, of course, we've got the Masters golf and the football game. I guess you could call it offense versus defense, Kevin. Offense versus defense.
All right. So, John, let's start there. For those who do not know, I'm not sure if Shane has broken this down yet. It is going to be 4 15-minute quarters. There will be a running clock. The clock will stop for scores, penalties, change of possessions, and during the last 2 minutes of each half. It is offense, defense. Turnover for the defense, you get 6 points, 3 and out. Turnover on downs, you get 3 points. Defense gets 1 point for a forced punt. Offense will get the normal 6 and 3. Extra point after a touchdown. Extra point is 1 point, 3-yard line, 2 points, 10-yard line, 4 points. Do you like the setup that John Summerall has, basically 1v1?
I do like the creativity of it, and I do like that we're going to see the guys that I feel he believes are currently right now at the top of the depth chart at these positions. And I am very curious for me how well the offensive line is going to perform, because for me, I think the Florida Gators are going to be very, very deep at the skill positions on the outside, in the slot, behind center, and hopefully behind that quarterback. So the offensive line is where it all begins. Shane and I talked about this on Wednesday. You've got to get better there. I've heard some things, kind of some rumblings on some on-threes and some little portal websites and so forth, where the chat is that this offensive line is going to be vastly improved. I think that's what John Summerall is going to need. He's going to have that, because we've got to have a guy that can complete passes and get the damn ball in the end zone. That's it. It's not much more complicated than that, and you can get into the X's and O's, and Shane's great at that, and he's a master at that. But for me, just a casual guy, been in this since the early 90s. For me, it is get the ball in the end zone, complete passes, and convert third downs, and hopefully not have third down. Maybe once in a while, the offense will decide not to have a third down. Let's just do that.
Hey, JC, how about we not, if we're going to be in third down, how about we not be in third and forever?
I highly recommend that. Highly recommend that.
That is a recipe for success because I mean I can't tell you even on my first year on the broadcast last year with Sean and Shane, where I'm going, they'll look at me in the background and they'll say, "What's our third down and distance to go average?" And I tell them 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and Shane just gives me the look of like, "You can't win that way."
Kevin, I'll never understand why Billy Napier was so stubborn about getting somebody in there that could take some of the load off his plate, especially on the offensive side. Now, I understand he's an offensive guy. He was, but I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand his offense. I thought he brought zero energy to the sideline, and he was a bum. I think, frankly, we've got just the opposite now running this program. I was, from the minute they hired John Summerall, very excited about it. Very excited about it without knowing one thing. I just know what his track record is. He's a Kentucky Wildcat who knows the SEC, Wildcat meaning a former player at Kentucky. So he's been around this league. Okay, this is not going to be too much for him over his head like maybe it was for some others. And so, yeah, 3rd down and long is a bad idea if that is consistently where you find yourself. And I hope that's what we're going to see, is that some 3rd and shorts. I'm not going to worry about the defense. I just want this. For me, I'm an offensive guy, Kevin. I want to see the offense show us some things on Saturday. If I were a guy, a casual fan going to the ball game, I want to see offense. That's what I want.
Miapa is proud to sponsor Gator Athletics at all Gator baseball home games. When the Gators win, you win a free cup of Cuban coffee from any Miapa location to show your ticket. Go Gators, go Miapa.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take this. I'm not sure if you've seen any practices. I know Shane went over earlier this week.
Yep.
I have been to 3. The one, I was inside the swamp on Saturday, JC, for the scrimmage. I watched Aaron Philo run, scramble, design run, whichever you would like to call it. All 3 of those were in play. I watched him take off more on Saturday in a 2.5-hour window than I watched DJ Lagway all of last year. And when I arrived in Gainesville, it was supposed to be, oh God, DJ can do everything, because that's what he did his freshman year. And so I will tell you, all of you this. First off, I think Philo is going to be the first quarterback out tomorrow. And I don't think that's a bit of a stretch. Those who have not seen him, and if you got to be in attendance, because it's not on TV, got to be in attendance, you will be impressed with his athleticism. Did you watch him at all at Georgia Tech?
I didn't see much of him because they put the other kid was in there, but I know he's going to be more familiar with Buster's offense at the beginning, sure. And I do think it's important to have a guy like Trammell behind him so that he doesn't feel like he's the only. Well, let's just say this. I want him to feel like there's pressure behind him, because I want him to be dialed up and knowing that this is not just my team like DJ thought it was. DJ was overweight and was just not as he didn't pan out. All right. It's as simple as that. But he was Billy's quarterback, and that's how it went. But I think Philo, no, the answer is no, I have not. But look, I'm going to trust people like you. I'm going to trust people like Shane. I'm going to trust people like Buster Faulkner to get us the guy that will get the ball in the end zone. That's what Bill Parcells said, Kevin. He said the ball has to get in the end zone. That is the most important thing in football, and what a quarterback can do in simple man's terms. And that's all I need. And that's what we are hoping to see. And, I wouldn't mind seeing the defense pick one off or two, because I don't think an interception is always the quarterback's fault. Maybe the defensive guy makes a play. Maybe he taps the ball on a pass on a crossing route, or maybe he in single man coverage on a go route, he makes a fantastic play on the inside. And I listen, I just want to see, something better than what we've seen the last 4 years. Is that too simple to ask?
No, it's not. But doesn't it also speak to it, for a little bit, JC, where this program was, or this offense was? Because for a large portion of last year, look, this defense was hella good, and they were stretched and taxed to the max. And they were keeping us in games until finally the levee would break. They let go. The real picture cliche. They just couldn't do it anymore. And all you needed was the offense to even just be a half a click better. Yeah. And they couldn't do it.
Quarterback was horrible.
Quarterback was horrible. All right, that's fixed. Hopefully.
Let's hope it's fixed.
Let's hope it's fixed. I will also say this. You brought up Trammell. This has been a hell of a competition. They're going to have John and Buster are going to have a tough decision to make. And they don't need to make it tomorrow. They don't need to make it when the game's over tomorrow. They can go all the way through until Saturday, August 5th, they believe it is, when Florida Atlantic is in town. You can go all the, and even then, you still don't need to do it.
No.
So there's, and I love the competition. John Summerall loves competition, JC.
Mhm.
Have you picked up on that from him?
I have. I've picked up on that from him because his teams get to championships. His teams from Tulane, his teams from Troy, they get to the championship. They get, meaning they go really hard through the conference schedule. And I think you practice or you play the way you practice. And I think a lot of times we kind of lost that dynamic in the preparation schemes from week to week to week with this bum that they had here before. And I think it's really important that this team get a little bit tougher. Is that, I mean, tougher meaning harder, a little bit more meaner, a little bit more aggressive on both sides of the ball. Now, listen, the defense was, as you said, fantastic last year because they couldn't have gotten much worse. For 3 years before last year, this defense was a sieve. It was the worst defense I had seen at Florida in generations, if you will. So I agree with that 1,000%. Let's get the defense off the field, or rather keep them off the field, sustain drives, score quickly, whatever you got to do. But it's all about the guy pulling the trigger, QB. Yeah, Kevin. So I hope that's what we see on Saturday, brother. That's what I want to see.
Here's
Offense.
something. By the way, real
Offense.
quick, YouTube live question brought to you by Quality Plumbing, residential or commercial plumbing services. Since 1984, our name says it all. Do you guys think the offense will be going forward on fourth downs a lot this year?
Down and distance. I think it's down and distance. And I think he'll be more aggressive than Billy Napier. Yes, I do. I don't think he's going to waste 50 seconds in the second quarter if he has the ball on the 30-yard line and with a timeout and say, let's just run the clock out and go take a break. I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's going to try to score. I think Buster Faulkner is a fantastic offensive coordinator. I mean, anybody who can help Georgia Tech be competitive with a quarterback who's limited in, what that guy was, he played with a hurt shoulder. Come on, tell me who he was. The Georgia Tech quarterback. We all know who he was. Haynes King was very limited in what he was able to do, but Georgia Tech was highly competitive in their games offensively. And Faulkner, I think, is a fantastic choice for offensive coordinator. He's somebody that we didn't have for 4 years. Billy Napier wouldn't hire somebody. So, this
is what I like regarding that, JC. It's John Summerall came in and didn't have to try to be swinging big, you-know-what guy saying, I've got this side of the ball, and I'm going to leave someone else to take care of this, right? But so John would, let's say in this scenario, John's got to take care of the defense, someone's going to do the offense, or vice versa. John brought both in. He wants to be the CEO, and it's almost following the Kirby Smart model at Georgia, and I'm not putting him there, but the model of, I'm going to oversee the program. I'm going to walk around during practice. I'm going to check the line. I'm going to check the defensive line. I'm going to go look at the secondary. I'm going to watch how all of you practice instead of just narrowly focusing and tunnel visioning on one side of the ball or one aspect of the ball. And that's kind of what I saw last year from Billy when he was working with just the quarterbacks in the offense.
Well, it can't get worse. It cannot get worse. The win total is 7.5. I have already bet the over on this. I'm being a little too, I don't want to be Pollyannish about it, but let's face it, it can't get worse. It cannot. And I think that 7.5 is a reasonable number. If you look at that schedule, last year's schedule was ridiculous. I think this year's schedule gives them an off-ramp on many games that they don't have to play. Even with the new personnel, new coaches, new everything, I think Florida, just based on the brand, on the name, should be able to handle this and get to 8 wins. That's a goal. If they get that, I think everything else is upside from there. And I'm taking my money and putting it on that. So I'm going over 7.5. And just on the opposite side, down the panhandle, I'm taking under on Florida State's because of their schedule. Because of their schedule, not because it's Florida State. But look at their schedule. It's horrible. So we talked about this on Wednesday. I just wanted to reiterate that.
No, I love it.
I am all in, glass half full, glass 3/4 full. I really like this coach. I have from the very beginning. I just think that we're going to see such a difference in personnel. The variance is going to be so much greater for fans. Pay the extra money. Get ready for a new stadium. Do exciting things at Florida for once. I almost said a bad word. For once, let's just do something exciting for once in this town and get this place breathing again. And let's win some stinking football games, man. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's get the ball in the end zone. Stop the other team on third down. and don't turn the ball over. Wow, what a concept. Get the turnover ratio in control. Sometimes we were way upside down on that. I don't see why that can't happen with this guy. He's done it in other levels. Tulane was highly competitive. My God, they went to the playoff last year. Come on.
They went to the playoff. Tulane went to the college
football playoff.
Yeah. Before Florida.
And playing it too late. I mean, look, they played a bowl game before last season, and it was one of the worst Tulane offensive schemes and quarterbacks I'd ever seen. He was probably embarrassed by the whole thing. But look at what they did last year. And so that's how I look at a coach is, okay, so maybe you stubbed your toe here, but look at what you did on the rebound. And let's go, man. Let's see if they can excite some folks on Saturday afternoon. I regret I won't be there. I'll be watching golf, but I'll be doing some other things around the house because I'm not going to St. Augustine. So I'm very excited about this weekend.
All right,
I know you're going to be excited about getting to the
so I'll be on the sideline. Sean Kelly and Shane will be up.
Love Sean.
Yep. Tate Casey will be on one sideline.
I'll
be the other because usually it's Cardozo, but Jeff is a little busy. He's doing baseball this weekend,
and that's a huge weekend.
It's a huge weekend. Because I've got baseball on the AM side on WRUF.
Okay.
The football game will only be available if you want to listen to a broadcast of it on 103.7 The Gator, my sister station. By the way, Florida Cracker Oyster Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot for seafood and more. No matter the occasion, they're ready to welcome you. Florida Cracker style. Check them out in Keystone Heights. JC, how long you been in Gainesville?
I'm born and raised here, went to Alabama, came back, did graduate work at Florida, worked at WUFT Channel 5, then got a job in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and met Brett Favre. My first ever interview was Brett Favre. Couldn't pronounce his last name. He laughed. I laughed. We didn't know each other. Nobody knew who he was. Curly Hallman was the coach at Southern Miss, and they won 10 games my first year at WHLT, the CBS affiliate in Biloxi. In Hattiesburg, just north of Biloxi, if you don't know your maps. And then I came back and worked at TV20. So, I love Gainesville. I've been here my whole life, mostly 95% of it. And so the swamp is the backyard for me. But that's neither here nor there. I've seen good. I've seen bad. I've seen mediocre. I've seen really bad. And I've seen really, really good here at Florida. I have seen it all at Florida. And I want to see something that how long has it been since 2008?
We're coming up to almost 19 years.
Since they've won an SEC.
Two decades.
That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
By the way, so first off, I'm learning that from the collegiate fan base in a community like Florida or these college towns, because I treated it the same way from the professional level when I came from the Northeast. We are more pro sports dominated. You said your first interview was Brett Favre.
It was first ever.
When I was working as a stringer, and you remember the name of it. You remember what a stringer was. So for those who do not know, back in the day, a stringer would go to a game, call into multiple radio stations around the country to give live updates for about 10 to 15 seconds. I was a stringer for the Patriots games in 2001.
Oh.
My first season was 01. Pretty good. After the game, you have to go get tape, audio, sound bites, send them back in. And that was old school, feed them in before internet existed. Yeah. And then if the Patriots won, I would get a player on my cell phone to talk to the host. My first ever guy on my cell phone, my old Nokia, was Tom Brady.
Oh, God.
So your first interview was Brett Favre, and the first guy I ever put on my cell phone that I'm asked to get, it was after the Colts win back in his first ever start back in 2001. Wow.
So we both have Hall of Fame quarterbacks on our resume, brother.
And what happened to us?
Well, we got a little older. Television back then was a lot more. It was a lot more grunt work for the old sports guys than it is today. Today, they just put on makeup, show up about 30 minutes beforehand, let the producer tell them what they're doing, and that's it. I shot video. Brett Favre white balanced my camera for me, for God's sake. Reese Davis was my college friend, and Reese was the only. I had to help Reese with his camera in Charlotte, the '94 Final Four, because his stupid. He shot it by himself.
Yeah, so he's doing the one-man band.
Solo
Yep.
act, and Reese needed video. So because his
great.
camera wouldn't work when they were running through the practices, he was in. I think Reese was in Columbus, Georgia at the time. Now what happened to me? And look where he is.
I know. Hey, let's go back. Let's go back to tomorrow's game before we then put basketball into football.
Okay.
I'm sorry, basketball and baseball. Baseball. Is there a player or two, whether it's a newcomer, where it's one in a new position or in a higher role? Is there someone that you're really kind of going to hone in on or want to get the report as to how player X performed yesterday on this stage?
Dallas Wilson.
Okay.
I mean, so much potential. We've heard so much about him. He's barely played, but the time he did and he was healthy, he literally owned the game. He dominated whoever was trying to guard him. And I just think with an offense that will be featuring the skill guys on the outside, given that we can have a quarterback who can complete passes and an offensive line who can protect said quarterback, Dallas Wilson is going to be a guy you will be targeting I hope at least 10 times a game. I mean, I think the talent for him is off the charts. Now, there's other players, of course, but we have heard a lot about this Dallas Wilson. We've seen him in one game do something special, and he's been sitting around for the rest of the time. So, and remember, in the spring game last year, he stole the show.
He did.
And Lagway was, the guy. I mean, then Lagway just got large or something happened to him. But Dallas Wilson,
it looked like that was going to be the Heisman connection.
Well, that's what I was expecting. Yes. And then, of course, just the opposite happened. So, no, it's Dallas Wilson for me.
All right. I need to go back to our YouTube comments and our YouTube questions brought to you by Quality Plumbing, residential and commercial plumbing services since 1984. Our name says it all. And I'm only going to go to UF Gators UF.
I love him.
Kevin isn't a golf guy. But we're 20 minutes in and no master.
Okay.
First off,
okay.
I am absolutely a golf guy. In fact, UF Gators UF, I said Wednesday on my local show on WRUF, I said if for the rest of my life, I am only allowed at work on Thursday and Friday to watch one of two events.
Okay.
Either I'm only allowed to watch round one of the NCAA tournament,
right?
Or I'm only allowed to watch Thursday and Friday of the Masters. I'm picking Thursday and Friday of the Masters.
Hey,
I will bypass round one of the tournament, the day that everyone firmly believes is the greatest day in the history of sports.
Yeah, right.
So guess what?
Right.
Gator, let's talk some Masters, Jason.
Let's talk some Masters.
What'd you think of that leaderboard?
Well, so we had 6 picks, Shane and I, and 2 of my 6 are right there. The other 4, I picked some live guys who I thought were hot. I thought I took Bryson, and I took that damn Rahm, who was in the last 5 tournaments he's played no worse than second each time. So I was thinking, okay, these guys are in good form. So I picked them. But I do have Justin Rose, who has come so close, and I have Patrick Reed. But I believe that it's still going to be Scheffler and McIlroy's world. If we get a Scheffler and McIlroy final pairing on Sunday, and I know we've got a long way to go, but if that happens, you're going to see television ratings be broken. I really believe that. I think the popularity of this has gone further than anyone ever expected. It costs an arm and a leg in your firstborn just to get into the damn place. But that's why.
How many times have you been?
I've been 3, and each time was a practice round, and that to me was that would be what I advise anybody who gets the opportunity. Now, of course, if you get an opportunity, you're invited, you go whenever you're told. Sure. But for me, I got fortunate enough to be able to go to the practice rounds because back in those days, in the early 2000s, it wasn't quite as crazy. I mean, the badges were not that much, and I won, and we got in through a lottery system. So we were just lucky, I guess. And you got to see the place. But for goodness sakes, this tournament is going to be fantastic. And I got to say, even though this was Freddie Couples is not a factor, never was, to see him go 8 over or something like that on the last or 3 of the last holes on the back 9 just shows you that former champions, you got to give them credit for showing up because they have no chance. But I do think But it's too bad. I mean, he got a like a quadruple
nine. He
bogey
got a
on
nine.
a
He got a
nine
nine. He took
on
a
one of
nine.
the easiest holes, I guess. What was it, the par 5 15th?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So he
The
must have he rinsed a couple. I'm sure that's what happened. But no, so on this year's tournament, McIlroy would be the first to successfully defend the jacket, because since probably
It's not back. Is it all the way back to Tiger?
it has to be, because Jack, Tiger, and Faldo are the only three who've done it. So yeah,
Okay.
since
All
Tiger,
back to Tiger in the early 2000s.
that's right. So that would be amazing.
Well, think about this. I was on my social media director here at the college,
Yeah.
Justin Baxley. He was on my show the other day. We talked golf for an hour. JC, he was born in November of 1997. He has never seen a Masters when there's never been either Phil or Tiger playing.
Yeah.
There's a generation of fans out there who've never watched a Masters.
Right.
That has not included at least Tiger or Phil.
Yeah.
And to your point, you put McIlroy, you put Scheffler, you even put whether it's Schauffele and Jason Day or Patrick Reed into that second group as they're the final two pairings off on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you're going to be.
Buckle up.
Every male in America is likely going to watch it, or mostly who likes sports. And I think, Kevin, back in the days, they only showed the back nine on Sunday for 2 hours. And now we get the whole damn day. It's so good. It's a rite of passage that we go into summer through the April channel of the Masters. And I think Justin Rose is a guy that he was my last pick with Shane on Wednesday. And I think he's come so close.
He's Mr. Consistent.
He is. And that's what you need. You have to do two things. You have to be consistent. You have to scramble around the greens when you miss them. And you can't have big crooked numbers. You cannot win the Masters on Thursday and Friday, but you absolutely can lose it on Thursday and Friday. So you have to play into the weekend with good form, just to set yourself up to win. It's a slog. You have to be patient. Tiger gave us the footprint on how to win this thing. It takes patience. And so these guys that are on the leaderboard right now are fantastic. I think Schauffele's got a great shot. And some of these debutantes that showed up were impressive. Got her up going even par yesterday. First time he's ever played the course in a tournament setting was impressive to me as well. He's only 5 back.
JC, can we discuss something for a moment?
Please, go ahead.
Can we discuss debutantes?
Debutantes.
Hang on. Second cut. I'll leave the patrons out. I'm used to the patrons.
Right.
I'm just laughing at debutantes. Where else in society is the word debutantes used other than for 4 days or 2 days at Augusta National?
I mean, when I said that, I thought you were going to spit on the screen.
Hang on. I learned the term this week.
I did too. I'd never heard it. I had never heard it. I said, okay, why was Fuzzy Zeller a debutante? So I'd never heard that either. But hey, I am now officially Masters bred. I am broken in, and I am a part of the club now, brother.
Yeah, you are. Silverback Concrete. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. Before I get to the other thing I learned this week, which you'll enjoy when it comes to baseball, here's your updated odds, courtesy of Hard Rock. You ready for this?
Oh, I like that.
To win. Rory plus 275.
Yeah.
Scotty plus 350. Schauffele plus 900. Sam Burns 9-1 plus 900. The next group, you got to go all the way to 16-1, is Patrick Reed and Justin Rose. Then you got Fleetwood at 1750. Jason Day is at 20-1. Kurt Kitayama then headlines the next group at 30-1. So Rory has jumped in front of Scotty.
Yeah. I think the value, though, would lie with a Justin Rose at 16. And I think you could get some value with Jason Day at 20. I mean, he's another guy who has come super close. We've also seen Patrick Reed win this. So at 16-1, he knows exactly what he's doing out there. I think it's got to come from somebody with a little bit of pedigree, a little bit of experience on that track. Schauffele at 9-1, I'm not sure that's enough for me if that number's too short, but it's long enough for me on Reed, Rose, Jason Day. I do like those guys, and I was impressed with Lowry. You know, this is a guy that's just absolutely thrown up all over himself and vomited on himself when he could have won a tournament here earlier this year. He's kind of gotten over that a little bit. Did not play well at Bay Hill. I think at 30-1, hey, I mean, maybe take a flyer on Shane.
By the way, speaking of puking on himself, Robert McIntyre just continued to do that ever since that snap hook on 18 last week in San Diego.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how mental this can get, but that's what the Masters does to you. It's a test between the ears in the surest form. It truly is. And so you've got to have that personality, maybe, if I want to say it, you know, like a Matsuyama, like a Scheffler, like a Koepka, something like that. Even though Brooks hasn't won it, he's come so close. And Justin Rose's kind of personality is going to win this, I think.
All right, so there's our Masters talk.
There you go.
JC, I mentioned, yeah. And by the way, UF Gator apologized to me. I love it.
He's a great guy. I love that guy. I saw him just out of the blue. I got to tell you the story since you're a hockey guy. I was watching the Stars play 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. I heard my name screamed across the
where were you?
In Dallas at American Airlines Arena watching the Stars play, and somebody screamed my name across the damn store there where they sell the merchandise, and sure enough, it was my man Tony, UF Gators UF, and he had an executive with him, Jason, from the Stars. I figure, well, look, if this thing doesn't work out with me in Gainesville, maybe I can get Jason to get me a job in Dallas because my wife lives in Dallas, or is from Dallas. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think listen, he's a big fan. Hockey is great. We're gonna have the playoffs come. You and I got to get together again on this program before we get to the playoffs. There, Kevin, we got to have some hockey. People like it. I don't care what Shane says; he's wrong. People love the Lightning. They love the Panthers. Look, the capital of the hockey world is the state of Florida. Okay, it just is. So
it's too conducing to me from the up north, but it happens.
Yeah, Bruins.
I know, but by the way, good for it. And look, I watched the Panthers take out the President's Cup winning Bruins on a historical season, that started this whole run.
Yeah, I sure did, and I was sick to hell because I'm a Boston Bruins fan. But back to what the hell?
So hang on. I was going to mention this. So I learned debutantes. The other thing I learned, JC, and this is going to pivot to baseball.
Okay, good.
I learned the reason all Gator fans call Florida State the Circus College.
I
did not know the Big Top was out in right field.
Yeah,
the Hurricane took it down.
Yeah, it did.
A freaking Big Top.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You can go tumble. You can go learn to tumble with the elephants out there.
You learn so much in such a short period of time, Kevin. My God!
If I want to become one, I have to.
Yeah, and you replaced a radio legend in Gainesville. I mean, my God, Steve Russell. Russell?
No, I didn't. So I didn't replace Russell.
Oh, I thought you took his.
No, I did not take the sports director's job. I took the brand manager position.
Okay.
And by the way, check out the YouTube account. They know who he is.
Shane.
Shane
gave me a little bit of the biography. He's in for Russell? I said, okay, wait a minute.
No. Oh no. So Jeremy St. Louis he's the sports director. Russell is still Jeremy took that job. I run the radio station. They've kind of separated the two. So
understood.
Real quick. Back to baseball this weekend, JC. Give me your thoughts again shortly.
So Florida has an opportunity right now to just right the ship from last weekend's debacle, and I think it was a debacle, losing 2 out of 3 to Mississippi, and especially with the way poor Reitnauer lost that game after what we saw the starter do. Russell was so good for those 8 innings, and then poor Joshua got hit a little bit. Mm-hmm. But what he did on Tuesday night showed me so much guts. His fastball and his slider is as good as I've seen from a freshman. They are as good as I've seen it. Big Red will tell you. And I'm friends with Big Red, and he'll tell you flat out that this guy's got the goods, okay, right now. So you get that starting pitching locked in. You bring him in. That's the formula. You do that, you're going to win a couple games in Athens. Athens is hot right now. They went to Starkville, Kevin, swept the Mississippi State Bulldog version. Yeah. So this is a hot team. Tonight's a great opportunity to get off to a big start at 6 o'clock on the SEC Network Plus. But tomorrow at noon, you can tailgate. What time is the Orange and Blue? Tomorrow?
Noon.
Oh, well, now.
No, okay, you're gonna have to watch in the state and then get the WRUF app on your phone to be listening to baseball.
Okay, very good.
Self-promotion plug from our radio station.
That's what it's all about, brother. But I think for sure this weekend is huge for Florida to get on the right track. Now, also, Kevin, this is a big weekend in the SEC. The SEC itself I had it pulled up. I was going to pull up another big weekend. This conference is cannibalistic. They beat each other up. It is very difficult. Week in and week out, you truly don't know what's going to happen. But some of these games, Arkansas at Alabama, who all of a sudden has turned into a juggernaut in baseball, don't know where that came from. Tennessee and Mississippi State, LSU and Mississippi. How about LSU losing 5 quad 4 games already this year? They lost to Bethune-Cookman, for the love of God. It must have made the Cajuns just want to throw up their gumbo. I mean, my goodness, you don't lose to Bethune-Cookman, but they did in the midweek. They've got a bunch of quad 4 losses. That's bad for LSU. You've got Texas and A&M. Doesn't matter what they're doing. It does not matter. You can be walking down the sidewalk and they'd be trying to compete with each other in something. They hate each other. That's a huge weekend. That's going to be, I think, at College Station.
Hey, can I just say I'm not used to seeing a number not next to Vanderbilt's name?
Well, true, but they got off to a good start last night against Oklahoma, winning that game in Nashville. South Carolina beat Missouri last night as well, but the rest of them, the other 6 series, Kentucky, Auburn, like I said, the other 3, and Arkansas and Alabama, Florida, Georgia. So all of this is starting tonight. Another fantastic weekend in the SEC in baseball. That's what we got.
JC, it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm gonna let you run, man. You go enjoy your body, enjoy your weekend.
Okay, Kevin, my pleasure. Welcome, man, and let's do this again, please.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's check Shane out one day. All right, we'll continue along. PodUp with Matthews in the Morning continues right here with all of you. Your YouTube comments, your Facebook questions, all of it coming up next as I take you up till the top of the hour right here.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is Just keep jumping them.
And we continue along with PodUp with Matthews in the morning. Almost forgot the name of the show. Don't ever do that, Kevin. That is not a good way to start the thing. So here we go. PodUp with Matthews in the morning. Kevin Winter continues with you. I'm in for Shane Matthews this morning. JC, John Cornell was with us. We just did 37 minutes of just utter wonderful topics. I'm going to continue along for a little bit with you. Any question you want to fire off to me, whether it's about my career, where the heck I came from, if you do not know me, or what I'm doing down here, fire them all away. At our YouTube live account, you can follow us there, PodUp with Matthews in the morning on YouTube. Our YouTube questions are brought to you by Quality Plumbing, residential and commercial plumbing services since 1984. Our name says it all. If you're watching us on Facebook this morning, our Facebook Live questions are brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official and injury and accident law partner of the Florida Gators. And of course, there is a text line with you. You put two guys who like to talk together like JC did. I'm not sure you have time to text us because we're just rattling things off and we are just going. But if you want to text 352-353-7465, that's where you text us, the Titan MRI and Imaging text line. If you have a question, fire it off there and we will go ahead and throw it out. A couple of things. Number one, Tiger and Phil. I mentioned Tiger and Phil. Mark had said it's been 24 years. Mark, I just did a quick search. It has been 1994 was the exact year. 1994. First Masters since 1994 that there's no Tiger or no Phil. Those gambling debts made Phil get the handout from Liv. No, that was it. Hang on. What was the one I liked from Liv? Oh, Liv golfers don't play well without the music. That's funny. That's funny. I actually thought Bryson was going to have a good week at Augusta. He was one of my picks. And whew, I'm familiar. Someone also brought up Fred Couples, the 9 that he took on a par 5. Someone says I'm familiar with that game. I watched Bryson need 3 shots to get out of a sand trap yesterday. I'm familiar with that game. I understand that lingo. So I'm with you all there. I asked all of you, or I threw out the question out to JC. Is there a football player tomorrow at the Orange and Blue spring game that you're really keeping an eye on? Someone had said on our YouTube account, LJ McCray. That came from Silent J. That's a good one. What does LJ look like? There are some players there are some athletes, there are some football players who I came in when I got here back in July. And so I just got done. I did my first full season. I really completed pretty much my first sports calendar here at UF. Still got some baseball to finish up and some softball. And then I'm going to go home and drink for the summer and visit some family and blow stuff up on the 4th of July like a good American does. And then I'll be back. But there were a lot of players that I sat and I was like, oh, this kid's going to be good. This kid's going to be that. He's going to be this and that. And nothing just really panned out last year, with the exception of, obviously, Dallas Wilson, as JC and I talked about, in the moments that he shined. And then, of course, Jaden Baugh. I will say this to all of you regarding Jaden Baugh. As I talk to people in and around the program, I'm the word and the phrase, that guy is the franchise. That is the kind of terminology they're using for Jaden Baugh. They know what is going to win football games, or at least get the offense rolling next year. It's Jaden Baugh. I am curious what Oyabadejo, the big, he's 99, what Oyabadejo looks like. The big defensive lineman that they brought in from Jacksonville State. That kid is a monster, is an absolute monster. I also know this. I was going through, where's my roster? I was going through the roster. Hanks at corner. Ben Hanks, the transfer. Ben Hanks, excuse me, the red shirt freshman, Ben Hanks, he has made massive strides. The transfer, DJ Coleman, out of Baylor, he will probably likely get the start alongside Bryce Thornton in the secondary. Those are pretty impressive. I love our linebackers. I talked to all three last year: Miles Graham, Jaden Woods, and Aaron Childs. In part because the offense was such a mess. So each week when I would do a player interview for the Gator Sports Network during our pregame show, there was only really the defensive guys to talk to because the offense was such a mess. And at the time, VB3 and Dallas were both freshmen, and they weren't talking. So they got some of those. All right, let's go to let's go to here. Kevin, what's been your most difficult adjustment coming to Gainesville and UF? Anything? Adjustment? No, I guess when you've the good news is I knew Sean Kelly's a friend of mine, so I had that coming down there. So I at least had some friends. I guess I'm kind of the guy I can make friends with the telephone pole. Like I had someone tell me that who I used to work with. She says you can make friends with anyone. I guess this is kind of my personality. Biggest adjustment, I'll tell you what. This is from Conjuring. I'm gonna let you know next semester because I wind up teaching the same thing over and over again to the brand new stack of kids and students. And it's usually you kind of teach and move forward, teach and move forward, teach and move forward. But when you're really only dealing with brand new, you have to teach the older kids what they've already learned. You reinforce it, and the new kids, I gotta go back to step one. So I'm actually learning and still trying to find my teaching side of how I want to structure the classes. It's a long baseball season. Keep your head above water, then get hot. MSRK, didn't the Gators do this a year ago, baseball wise? They did this one season ago where it was just kind of here in the beginning of the year. And then all of a sudden, boom, mash on the gas. Kevin, you're a huge upgrade. I love your radio show on WRUF. Welcome to Gator Nation. Thank you very much. BCS Gator, thank you so much. Kevin, growing up, what sports did you play and did you excel in any of them? What prompted you to get into sports journalism? Growing up, I played soccer, basketball, baseball. My favorite love was basketball. Then all of a sudden I realized one day I'm a 5'9" white kid and who can't jump. I can shoot, but I ain't going anywhere. So I got to find the ability. I got to find a profession. Here's actually how I got into sports journalism. I wanted to actually go to the Naval Academy. I wanted to fly jets. I wanted to be Top Gun. Remember, when Top Gun came out in 1986, I was 9 years old. There's your impressionable age. I want to land on and take off of aircraft carriers for the rest of my life. I take a tour before I go to Annapolis, Veterans Day of 1994. I take a tour, 1993. I take a tour of the University of Maryland. And I go to their aeronautical engineering school because sure, I'm going to be an aeronautical engineer because that's what you're an engineer. You fly jets. You're in the air. You're in the air. Let's be an aeronautical engineer. I'm in the wind tunnel at the University of Maryland. And there are these kids who are figuring out the velocity of the diameter of the circumference of the wind tunnel. And they're just speaking a language I don't know. And I look at my dad and I say, wow, this is cool. And that's when I realized I was not going to be an aeronautical engineer. So their dream is crushed. I'm at the University of Maryland still. I'm actually by the famous turtle that they have at the University of Maryland. And my dad says, hey, we're going to go take a tour of the communications building. And I said, no, we're not. He says, come on, we're going. Let's learn about broadcasting. I said, why the hell am I doing this? I'm going to go to work with you for the rest of my life. And the woman who gave the tour asked me, she said, what sports do you play? She says, I tell her, I said, I play basketball. I love the game of basketball. She says, I wish you were coming to Maryland next year because I need someone who can broadcast women's basketball games on our campus TV station. And I said, well, I could do that. I've listened to basketball my whole life. Thus, a career is born. There we go. PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right here in Celebration Point and in the heart of Gator Nation. All of our Facebook Live questions brought to you by Meldon Law. And I want to get this one in. We all know someone stacking gold and silver, and for good reason. It's been one of the smartest financial moves out there. A true safe haven as the dollar loses value. Precious metals have delivered over 100% returns over the past 2 years, and more Americans than ever are investing in gold, silver, copper, platinum, and palladium coins, rounds, and bars. Join the movement. Start building your wealth today. Visit moneymetals.com. Check out their monthly automatic purchase plan too. Moneymetals.com. That is moneymetals.com. Fear the turtle. Yep. Hey, Kevin, are there still board ops in radio? If so, I know how to run one. Cliff Saunders, there are still board ops in radio. We haven't gotten rid of all those kids as of yet. This date in sports history. Look what I just found, Zach. I found this date in sports history brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. We're proud member Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks. 1947. This is April 10th. 1947, Brooklyn Dodgers president Branch Rickey announced that he had purchased the contract of Jackie Robinson from the Montreal Royals. Robinson was the first African-American player of the modern era. So there's your date in history. Baseball breaks the color barrier. Jackie Robinson is getting set to make his Brooklyn Dodger debut back in 1947. Here's your lineup for the weekend. Baseball all weekend is at Georgia. Softball this weekend is at South Carolina. If you're out driving around, the games are available on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and on the app. Tonight, we got baseball. Tomorrow, I'm going to run both games. Baseball first. We'll join softball in progress. And then on Sunday, we've got the game as well. If you're looking for the football game tomorrow, it is not on TV. There will be no video, contrary to what Google tells you. It will only be available on 103.7 The Gator because we have the baseball game here on WRUF. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy whatever it is you want to do, whether it's the Masters, football, baseball. If you want to sit back and enjoy the transfer portal, we could talk about that at another point in time. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to John Cornell, JC, for joining us. Shane will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. This has been PodUp with Matthews in the morning for Friday, April 10th.